CSI.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. How's it going?
Bruv, I'm amazing. I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much again for joining me today, man.
That's okay, bro. That's okay. How's it going?
Bro, it's an interesting time, of course, with what's going on with Corona and whatnot. I've had a family member pass away and
I'm
stuff
sorry
like
to hear
that.
that, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, But at the same time, you can't help but recognize the opportunity to reflect in the gaps and really appreciate what really matters in life and focus on that.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you because my brother's got it. So
Oh wow, sorry to hear that, man. How's he coping?
from what I know, he's good. I mean, it wasn't initially how he discovered it, but he's
Yeah.
good. So, yeah, it's the thing is, I don't think, in fairness, there's anybody that isn't first-hand affected by this.
Got you.
Like there was a point, obviously, where we was hearing about people on the news and whatever, and then it just seemed like it was getting closer and closer and closer. From secondary to primary, where now, unfortunately, you've lost somebody in your family due to it. I've got somebody in my family that has it, that is, by the grace of God, recovering.
Brilliant.
But he could have died with the way that he found out about it, kind of thing. So, it's and especially when they tell you got to stay at home and isolate. So you not unless it's very, very, very knocking at death's door circumstances, you can't even go to the hospital. So it's a tough thing to have to stay at home knowing you don't really have much experience with this. You don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances. Do you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. What we're going to do today is talk about this theme of ownership this week that we've been talking about in this group, and things that we can let go of, maybe talk about why we won't let go of them, and things that we can celebrate in our lives. And I particularly really wanted to speak to you, bro, because I've seen so many videos of you online, just being real.
I'm using Ultra Beat. I've got bad sinuses. Sorry.
No worries, man. Take time. There's so many videos of you that I've seen where you've come out and you just said, I went through a really hard time in my life and I managed to turn it around. You know what I mean? And especially in these times, I think it's nice to share that nothing lasts forever. And if we could cultivate a certain mindset, we can get through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's very true. I mean, it depends how you want to do this. You can ask me specifically and I'll tell you, or it's up to you how you want to go about it.
Nice one. We just keep it chilled and we'll just have a conversation and let it happen organically.
Yeah, naturally, organically, yeah, that's cool.
Cool, brother. All right, then what I'm going to do now is all the technical bit and just try and connect to this Facebook group.
Okay, do you think?
And then I'll let you know before we go live that we are going.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Nice, so just one moment. There we go. Okay, Zoom's now just preparing the stream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. So I'm now going to push the button to go live.
Mm-hmm.
Just and generally throughout it, I'll just sort of pause every now and again, say hello to whoever's watching, and take questions. Awesome. Okay, pushing the button. Okay, so I do believe we are now live.
It says live, it says live on the screen.
So thank you again, everyone in the group who has been contributing such great energy. I have an amazing guest with me today, Mr. Richard Blackwood. And thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
No worries. I see you got the backdrop and everything. You got the space backdrop. I just got a regular bedroom backdrop. This is just my backdrop. You're funny. I said, oh man, has he got the galaxy behind him? Like he's got with the door to the galaxy as well, just chilling there.
That's it, fam. In my own universe right now.
Yeah, I know. See what's going on. Books at the top there. I said, I've just got my bedroom.
Bro, that's a special chamber right there, fam.
No, very true, very true, very true, very true. I can't complain, but yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
So how you been, man?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. Like, I mean, I'm not really a person to complain. In fairness, like, I'm a true believer in accepting. Well, I've learned, right? Because you know, I've got a crucifix above me here, and I try not to lie, but definitely can't lie in front of the big man. So I try my hardest to not complain about things that may not necessarily be going my way at that particular time, and I try and just dress it down to there's a bigger purpose as to why it's not happening as of yet. And you know, so one thing I've learned prior to this even quarantine time is patience. I'm not really good with patience as a Tory, and we like things kind of now, but I've learned to be patient and just grateful with what you have at the time. Is everybody obviously says it's very cliche, but most people don't really live by that. They say it because they know it's the right thing to say. Yeah. But you know, we all know the right things to say. I'm not going to give you a quote or something that you're going to go, wow, I've never heard that before. We've been on the earth long enough to have heard most of them, but do you really live by them? Like really, if there was no room for lying, you probably say no, not always. So I'm trying my best to try and put them into practice rather than theory now.
I hear you, man. And there are a couple of people that have popped in. I want to say hello to Jenny. Hey, Jay, Diamond. Also to Ham. Hey, Ham, how you doing? Emma Wheeler, Adrian Curtis, Elaine, how you doing? Also, Jay is saying Richard Blackwood in his bedroom, stuff of many fantasies. Easy now, someone get some ice for that lady.
What time is it? What time is it?
What time?
It's past 4. It's too early for that. It's too early. Look, the bed nice and neat, no creases. Like, let's talk about that. Got a massage chair in the back there. You know, it's
yeah, and
the floodgates. That's Pandora's box right there. Let it all out.
Jenny Maxwell was saying, yes, reflection, appreciation. And that leads quite nicely into our theme of the week, which has been ownership. But I think allowing the time to reflect on the things in our situation that we're holding on to, maybe we can let go of, and the things that we can celebrate to empower ourselves and move forward. And I just wondered what your take would be on that.
Okay, so I live by a psalm, the Psalm of Serenity. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the ability to change things I can, and the knowledge to know the difference. And it's, as you can tell, I know it off by heart. I've got it tattooed on my arm, but it's also one of the psalms that my mum, one of the many psalms my mum taught me when I was a kid. And that adheres to what we're talking about, right? So we're not talking about physical things when you say things to let go of. Sometimes you're just talking about situations and the more metaphoric.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, a classic example from my own situation. As you know, because you were there at the time, I had a #1 record as Black Legend, and it was one of the most amazing times of my life. Chauffeurs, private jets, good finances, and all that kind of stuff. And then there came a point where the opportunities start to disappear, and the environment that I was in changed, and so I was faced with this situation where I had to let go of this notion that I could relive things in the same way, and recognize it was time for me to evolve and look at other opportunities.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about letting go, it can be that kind of thing. It could be letting go of friends and energy in our circles.
Well, what I would say is this, right? And this leans to, okay, so the way that I see it is that we are ascending as individuals in our own lives, in our own stories. I'll try not to get too deep with my metaphor, but I'll try and keep it as much as I can on layman's terms. But so what I mean by that is that if you think about it, there's always the elders, could be our parents, our grandparents, that used to bless us with the saying, if I knew then what I know now, right? And how they would apply it. And obviously, the truth is, you're not supposed to know then what you know now, because it's supposed to be the learning process, and it's how you address each of those situations at the time that then takes you on to the next part of your journey, right? Everything's, hindsight's always 20/20 vision, because it's always the I've been there, now I know it. Like you do judo, right? Or is it what do you?
Yeah, I've been doing for the last 10 years Gracie Jiu-Jitsu through Professor Eddie Cohn at EKBJJ.
Okay, so I do Kung Fu, right? And I've been doing Kung Fu. I've done them all, right? And we do Jiu-Jitsu within our Kung Fu now. But prior to, I was always a stand-up fighter, Wing Chun, Taekwondo.
Easy now.
Yeah, no, I've done it all, man.
Hey,
right?
easy now, boss.
Since I was 13. But I say that, right? But I say
hey, man's hand almost came through the screen. I had to
I know, the bunks out, right? But here's the thing. We know as fighters that when you're watching a fight, you can see all the mistakes that each of them are making. But when you're in the moment, you see afterwards, like when you're grappling, and there's windows of opportunity in grappling, right? Do you know what I mean? Just before arm bar, there might be a window for you to reverse the arm bar and things like that. But if you don't grab that window, you look afterwards and go, I just had that, but I missed the window, blah, blah. Okay. But here's the thing. You're supposed to lose that, because the next time you come back to it, your brain goes, remember, and you go, and that's, so you will meet those challenges again, but you'll be better prepared. And it's the same in life, right? So, the first time that we maybe fall in love and we get heartbroken, we've never felt that pain before, and it feels like your life is going to end. But the reason why, male or female, right? But the reason why it's supposed to feel like that is that it's it's not the last time your heart's going to be broken, right? Your parents will tell you that's probably the first of many, or first of a few that are really going to do it to you. But it helps you to maybe even look at, what did I do in that situation to make that happen? What could I do better? Blah, blah, blah. Till you meet your ultimate partner, and you've been through so many situations, or you've been through, and it doesn't mean partners, it could just be situations within those relationships, where you meet your life partner, you have all the life skills or the relationship skills to make it work, right? It's like, when we were young, you see guys in the fast cars, and you want a fast car. And I remember my dad bought me my first car, which was a Ford Fiesta Popular Plus, 1.0 engine.
Wow.
Right? Now, I wanted at the time the XR2, right, which was the faster Ford. But my dad said, you haven't got the experience to drive that yet, right? Do you know what I mean? So what you start off with is a basic car, get all your bumps, all your little crashes, your little blah, 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 know the roads, blah, blah. Then you naturally move on to the faster car, because your wits are about you. So when you're traveling faster, you can, do you know what I mean? Until if you're lucky and graced to have the high-end cars, like the Ferraris and all that, you can't jump into Ferrari and you just pass your test. You are going to die, right? But that's because you haven't had the driving skills, the learning. And so everything is a process of learning and getting into that ultimate place of total understanding. Martial arts, you start off, we watch martial arts films and we think, I want to do that. And then you realize when your Sifu says, it's going to probably take you 10 years before you turn black belt. And you go, what, 10 years? It's like, oh yeah, no, you have to go through conditioning, you have to go through forms, katas, whatever system you learn, until it becomes normal, to your natural reaction. If somebody steps to you, it's not this, it's this, whatever it is, you turn the unnormal into the normal, but as you know, right? That's going to take conditioning, right? Unlearning stuff and relearning stuff until it becomes natural in your system. So then 10 years on, you go, now I get it. Now I'm also 10 years on, I'm now ready to know that I don't need to use my martial arts all the time, because I'm now a weapon. Whereas if you became a black belt straight away, you might end up killing somebody, because you're so excited at the fact that you can do something they can't do, that you might try and get into fights, right? Do you know what I mean? Whereas now you know, like people that don't know, you wouldn't know that you do martial arts. They just think you're a peaceful person, not knowing that you're a serious fighter. But that's because you know that I've been in martial arts so long, I have nothing to prove. And also, let's just keep it right. I'm a deadly weapon. I'm actually a licensed weapon, right? I mean, with the experience I have. So, you know, you might need a knife or blah, blah, gun. My hands are lethal. Once I touch you and I build that bridge, you're in trouble unless you know what to do, right? Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. The years of you doing martial arts has got you to the level where you're at absolute peace, carrying the weapon, which is what you've learned. Because as you know, martial arts, if you do it right, is a very deadly weapon, right? Do you know what I mean? So that's why I say that you have to be, life is about the ascending and learning as you go along, and making you have a better understanding at the end of it as to why you had to go through the process. So that's kind of basically how I live. And I don't mind letting go of things that weigh me down, because negative and positive can't share the same space.
Man, I really appreciate that. And I want to just take a moment to say hello to some people. Kenzie, how you doing? Zega, how you doing? Sarah Sweeney, how you doing? Diamond, Rachel Naylor, Fiona, Jay, still in there. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. And one of the things I've seen you do over the years a lot is pivot. You know, really take your career and adapt and move into bigger and better places each time. Could you share with us some of that journey?
Well, you know, you was there at Eastenders when I was there, so
yeah, man.
You know, we will be on the set together in the market, right? Do you know what I mean? And blah blah, and doing our thing. But you know, like I started out with a dream, like I guess everybody else. I think one of the things that I had probably in my favor is nobody on this earth could sway me away from what I believe I was meant to be. I adhere that to two things. My star sign, as a Taurus, I'm stubborn, right?
Like,
yeah, oh my God, to the very end, right? But people just think that you're a Taurus, that means you're stubborn to others. It's no, you're essentially stubborn to yourself, right? So if I make a stance with something, even myself can't divert me, right? Like, it's like I become ignorant. It's like, nope, I said I'm going to be that, that's it. And even though my brain's going, but this is not going to work out. No. So we're stubborn to ourselves first. So that's the first thing. Even we can't escape our own stubbornness, right? But I say that to say that it's my stubbornness that kept me, once I made the decision that I wanted to do stand-up and I was going to become a star, right? Nobody, right? Now, I was very lucky because on my mum's side of the family, my uncle Junior was a famous singer back in the 80s. And we lived in the same house because I was raised by my grandparents. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes when you've got tangible things around you to motivate you, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So I'm living in a house with somebody who's writing songs and then performing it on Top of the Pops. I'm living in a house with somebody who is coming back from America and saying, oh, I was hanging out with Eddie Murphy because I did the song for Beverly Hills Cop and blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me, like his little brother, because we lived in the same house, I'm his nephew, but we're 15 years apart. So he's telling me, excited, like, Richard, guess what? I call me into his room. Guess what happened? What? I was partying with Rick James, and I'm going, sorry, what? Did you just say Rick James? He's like, yeah, but I'm trying to tell you something. And I'm going, so all these names, Prince, I remember when Prince's first album, my uncle came with Prince's first album, and then second album. So I was into Prince before people really knew about Prince. Not unless he was a Prince fan, most people knew about Prince when he did 1999 and then Purple Rain. But I was into Prince from the first album. So Junior would say, yeah, Prince wants to manage me. And I'm like, so who, Prince? Like, so these are things I grew up in the house seeing. So when it was time for me to pursue my career, once again, as far as I was concerned, you couldn't tell me nothing because my uncle did it. And his room is just there. Right. And I seen him do it. So you as a stranger can't say, but you know how hard it is. I'm like, I live in the house with someone that has won a Grammy. You live in a house where nobody's done that. So of course you're going to say that. He's right there. My bedroom's here, his bedroom's there. Right? Do you know what I mean? So no, I'm not hearing what you have to say. Yeah. So this is where I say I give thanks. I was very lucky, right? And then when I pursued my career, obviously people know, I won't bore people with it, but I had success early, right? By the time I was 25, I was constantly on TV, from, I don't know, MTV, whatever you want to call it, with Richard Blackwood Show. And I guess I didn't realize what I was achieving at that time, because there was no internet, there was no competition that you could physically see. People have to tell you about somebody, and then, you know, unless they were on TV as well, you didn't need to pay attention to them. So it was just me. I'm not saying there weren't people out there doing their thing, but they weren't on TV with me. So my thing is, oh, I can't see nobody else. So I had this tunnel vision of, yeah, I'm just doing what I do and it's just easy. And it's because it didn't feel like work, because I was doing what I naturally was gifted with. It was only really when I went bankrupt and I lost it all, and then I had to climb back up again. Yeah. And it was God's lesson. It was like, because God could see that I've given you all this talent, but essentially you've not really had to work for it, because you found your path quite early. And with the talent that you had already in your path, you're not, of course you're going to blow up, because you found it early. Sometimes it takes people years. You found it, you knew, and you were going to shows acting as if you were the best comedian there in your mind already. That wasn't something that I had to build. I just had that naturally. And I had a conversation with Lenny Henry about a year ago on a TV show he did. And, you know, it was so nice, because Lenny said that he was, not that he didn't like me, he always had love for me. He said, I just didn't understand how this guy was becoming so successful. He goes, because obviously I'm looking back and there's you on my coattails. And he said he found it quite intimidating, because he said he didn't understand, like, this young black man, he didn't have to do the normal white channels to get through. Yeah. Right? He's just talking the way he wants to talk. He's got, even though he's well, he can speak very well, he's got a good vernacular, but he drops in his black slang and no one's telling him nothing. He can just do what and he said it was really weird. He goes, you come up with a hit single, it just blows up. He goes, and I'm just watching going, how's he doing that? And I said to him, outside of my family, it was you. Because I watched you on TV as a kid and I knew, oh, okay, it can be done. So, bro, go on, sorry.
No, please go, listen, please hold that thought. Yeah. Hold it right there, because you're hitting us with some gems right now. I want to say hello to Kevin, to Cherry, Catherine, who's in, Cherry saying, the Richard Blackwood Show, I remembered when you joked about a certain person. Fiona Cagney, Taurus takes life by the horns. Heather, yeah. Vanessa, how you doing, Heather? Thanks for joining us. And Claire Honeyfield, this is awesome. Maria, how you doing? John Rattenbury's in the place. Right down here, we got Jay saying this is great stuff. You covered so many things, and please don't let me interrupt your flow.
No. I don't want to. I don't want, because I can talk. I don't want to bear off.
This is why we're here, and I just want to put it out to the group, everyone that's watching. This is not an opportunity that make the most of this opportunity is what I'm trying to say. We have Richard Blackwood here sharing gems. So if you have any question, ask it. We'll share it and we'll respond. Our theme for the week is ownership. We're talking about things we could let go of, things we could keep and celebrate. And this is what we're doing. So we're going to keep talking. Yeah, go on, bro.
No, that's all right. That's okay. So like, yes, I said, Lenny, it's because of you. Because as I say, I've already got my family, my uncle and so forth, that I'm seeing firsthand can do it. Then I'm turning on my TV, there's this young black man who's doing stand-up, making me laugh, blah, blah. He's got his show, he's doing Theophilus P. Wildebeest, all these sketches and blah, blah. And I'm going, okay, so my Uncle Junior could do it. This guy, he sounds like he's not from London, but he's from the UK. He's from, he's from Birmingham and Dudley, should I say, and he's doing it. And okay, I guess it's okay. I guess I can do it then. So I said, so when my attitude as well, and that's why I blessed my uncle, his attitude is when you go on stage, you're eating everybody else. Doesn't matter if you're friends. When you step on that stage, you're giving them a hard time. You're making them wish they were funnier than what they was, right? Because guess what? They're going to do the same to you. So, once again, if I liken it to fighting, there are people in your dojo that you are friends with, but when it's time for you to go, you're not friends until you tap out. Then we can be friends, right? Do you know what I mean? Or if I tap out, then we're friends and we go again.
And
right?
That's how we improve, right? That's how we get better.
Thank you. Steel sharpens steel, yeah?
There you go.
Right? So same thing. When I'm on Kung Fu, I'm sparring and somebody might thump me in my mouth and I go, but he will look at me and go, was your guard up? And I go, it was totally my fault. Do you know what I mean? Guess what? You won't get that again. Right? Do you know what I mean? And vice versa. So as I say, as I just got sharper and sharper, better and better. And I just had this belief like nothing could stop me. So fast forward, it all comes to a halt. I go bankrupt. It's the papers are having a field day. Haters are having a field day. It's like, it's their time now. It's my time to kind of take the lashes and blah, blah. And at that time, as there's a God above me, God knows, I was cussing his name something chronic. How I'm still walking around, I don't know, because I called God everything under the sun, right? I mean, because I was, woe is me. Why is this happening? I don't do nothing wrong. I live my life good. Why are you punishing me like this? And, I think, bless, this is why I say I got a true love for God, right? Is that God probably hears us cuss his name all the time with stuff that we go through. And he turns a blind eye and goes, it's okay. Because he sees the past, present, the future at the same time. So he already knows what's to come that you can't see yet. So he was already saying to me, it's okay. Because he knew that down the line, I was going to say, God, thank you for putting me through that. So it was as if he kind of muted out me cussing because he knew what was coming, right? And that's what happened. When it started to turn around and I started to kind of readdress myself and respect the art form that was a God-given talent, and I nurtured it. I pursued acting and so forth. And one of the big things the reason why it happened is that I was known for being a presenter, like the Richard Blackwood Show, Top of the Pops, all these things. And I essentially hit the ceiling, right? You couldn't go no bigger than having your own show in your own name at that time. But God knew, my close family and friends knew, I was never interested in presenting, right? Do you know what I mean? Some people might know this, but you might have an audience here that this is the first time they're hearing it. But I really wasn't, right? I was just good at it because I was a stand-up. Right. So it's just a natural transition because I'm already talking. I'm already good at talking. I already know how to make people laugh. So put me in front of a camera, right, and say, just talk about this. It's nothing, right? Do you know what I mean? And make it funny. I make people laugh every day. So it was just a nice sidestep. That's why Graham Norton and people like that are so good, because they're stand-ups. It's like, this is nothing to me, right? There's an audience in front of you. I love an audience. Bring more in. Like, this is what we do. So I was doing what I was doing as this young black comedian, and people watching and going, oh my God, it's so effortless. And it's like, yeah, it was. It felt like I wasn't even working. It felt like I was just felt like it wasn't working. I was getting paid for it. But so my mind wasn't really being challenged. Really, I was coming to say, oh my God, if I think back now, the way I used to be at work, I mean, I was always on time. I was never rude and blah, blah. But you could see at work, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. And they'll say, you want to rehearse it? I'll be like, no, it's just it. Right. And that was my attitude. And maybe it comes across as arrogance, but it really wasn't. It was just like, I'm not being challenged. This is nothing. I can do this in my sleep. Right. And it was because I always wanted to be an actor. But this just came, and I would be stupid to turn it down. Right. So I'm interviewing actors about their movies, and they're going, oh, it's great to be on your show. And I'm going, I want to be in your movie. Like, I'll trade this in a heartbeat. Like, it was so weird. And it seems like I might come across like I was ungrateful. Right. But it wasn't my calling. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, when I went bankrupt, people, as far as people are concerned, that's the demise of Richard. He's gone, right? He had a good run, take care, blah, blah. So people started to forget about me. And in that time, my agent, who I love to death, Lee Morgan, he said to me, okay, you want to be an actor? Because he saw me in a play called The Brothers that Angela Ma put on. And he said, well, Angela Ma actually put me on stage to act, and I said I didn't want to do it because I didn't think I could act, and she taught me how to act. So I always have to give Angela Ma a big shout out. I love her like a mum, because she taught me when I didn't believe in myself. So I always give it up to Angie, right? But what it was is that he saw me in that play. It was at Hackney Empire, for people that might have seen it many moons ago. And he took me on, and he said, okay, I've got a form of attack, and if you're ready, just fall in line. He goes, I said, I'm with you. He said, you're going to start doing plays. We're going to start doing plays probably outside of London, build up your repertoire and get you stronger as an actor. And he said, you're going to do an interview with Time Out magazine. And he said, and I want you to say to them, which is the truth, that I'm starting again from scratch. I'm going to learn the craft, because I understand that actors, it's like a fraternity. It's like a small elite club. And everybody talks about the acting school they went to as opposed to that one, and they've all worked with each other. And then you're coming from this presenter world, they're not going to smile at you. They're going to give you a hard time, because actors are very elitist kind of thing, all right? He said, so you're going to get a lot of them not liking you. And you're going to have to work with a lot of people that probably won't like you, because they won't like the fact that you're kind of stepping on their toes. But the way to get their respect is to be good at it. And that's what I did. And I did the interviewing, and I did play after play and blah, blah. People didn't know what I was doing. People said, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing a play. And they said, where? In Exeter. And they're like, where's that? And it's like, but it was okay, because I was building. And then eventually I was doing plays until I did a Roy Williams play called Waterhouse. And that was where it was starting to build up, and people were starting to see me doing my thing, and they're going, okay, Richard's probably got something. And then I did Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, right, with Debbie Allen, and I was just the understudy. I had one line in the whole play, right, and I was the understudy for Adrian Lester, right.
Oh right, yeah, not Adrian,
yeah, and to play Brick. So the reason why my agent said to take it is because you're going to have to rehearse the Brick character, and anybody that's read Tennessee Williams' Cat on a Hot Tin Roof or seen it, Brick is a very layered character, and it's very intricate, and it's quite a difficult character to play, because he's so introverted after the loss of his best friend. There's a situation going on between him and his wife. He's his dad. There's real issues within him. So, and because he's always drunk, or kind of on the way of being drunk, but not overly, everything's inward.
Right.
So it required you to have to show emotion that the audience go, what was that there? Because it doesn't reveal straight away, if that makes sense. So that is, anybody will tell you, any Tennessee Williams play, if you have to learn a role in that, it's tough. So anyway, I did that. And the director, he really, actually, I want to give him a shout out, let me get his name, because he watched me on a live that I did with Harvey yesterday, and he messaged me and he just said that, it was really nice to see that I did this live with Harvey and blah blah.
What's your finding his name, Richard?
I've got it.
You got it
anyway. Yeah, his name is Anthony Okundeo Lennon. Right, Anthony Lennon. Anthony, I'll say this real quickly now.
No, please.
But Anthony Lennon, he directed me in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and I had to do a scene where I had to cry. And I remember he would just give me little directions, and he's watching in not the crowd weren't there, but he's watching from the crowd area. And I felt it coming. I remember he just looked at me and he was like, you can do it. And I remember, and I burst into tears, and the actor that I'm alongside, he hugged me, but it was within the scene, luckily. So he played it, but he was hugging me like to say, well done. But he kept, his thing is he didn't want to kill it for me to stop, so he kept me going, blah, blah. And then Anthony afterwards, he goes, Richard, that right there. And it got to the point where they basically started talking to Debbie, and said to Debbie, Richard needs to go on stage and do this properly. Like, he needs to go on. He's that good. Never happened. Debbie wanted to do it, but it never transpired, and that's fine, right? But what it was it taught me another layer.
Right.
Then I got Shrek straight afterwards, and I did that for 2 years. And then Eastenders saw me in Shrek, and then the rest is history. So But people didn't realize when I got Eastenders, that was 2014, right? I went bankrupt in 2003.
Right.
So for 11 years, I was trying to get back up again.
I hear you, man. I really appreciate you being so open and honest and sharing with us. And there are some people that have some additional questions. Jenny Shepherd saying, was it hard to take ownership of your bankruptcy in those times? How did you feel? And Fiona's also asking something similar. How did you bounce back? You kind of covered that with that. I'll just read another one as well. My question is, do you ever see age as a barrier to success in the entertainment industry? Age as a barrier to success. And she said something about shea butter that I don't think I should say out loud. But no. I think she's still stuck in the room and
the
trying
bedroom
to put some creases in the sheet. No, but how did you feel around the bankruptcy?
About that time?
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, bankruptcy was a horrible period. It was a horrible. I now obviously I can talk about it and say, yeah, but it was horrible. I tried to commit suicide. I thought I was going to die for real. Like it was horrendous. But the only reason why it was horrendous was that it was public. Like, people normally go through bad times in private. So not unless the close family and people know, but otherwise people don't know. As soon as I walked out my door to go to the shop, somebody will come up, and people are cruel. So people come up and they go, Richard, oh my God, I heard you're bankrupt. How's that feel? And they're doing it just to get a rise out of you, because now, as far as they're concerned, you're now at my level. I can now deal with you a certain way, right? You get the couple that really would be like, do you know what? Don't worry about this. You'll rise again. But 90% of people were cruel that I would see on the street. Cruel. Now, it was okay because I am a person, I forget nothing, right? I'm the worst. I forget nothing, right? So at the time, I was very much like, okay, if you want to be that way with me or whatever, that's fine. I will remember you. Like, I'll give you a prime example where I say I don't forget nothing, right? Years ago, I did a show. This is 1996. I've got a photographic memory, right? So 1996, I was doing a stand-up show in Brixton. It was me, Toju, and one other comedian. And I remember it was summer. We all came outside after. It was daytime, and we was all laughing and joking. And this one girl said to me, like they were saying, oh, who do you reckon killed it? And this girl was sitting there to my left, and she said, yeah, Richard was funny, but it's because he's good looking, so that's the only reason why. All right. And I remember I looked at her and I went, hold on a minute. So the only reason why I got people laughing is because I'm good looking. All right. And I said, even by logic, that makes no sense, but thank you. I don't know her name, right? And if she's watching this, then she'll realize what she did. She put a battery in my back. So she doesn't even know this. But from that day on, I said to myself, when I go on stage, TV, or wherever I get to, I'm going to be a monster. It's going to take a rocket to move me from stardom because of you. Because you actually tried to, instead of just saying, you know what, you was good, you actually tried to make out that it's my looks that got me there. Okay, I'm going to be so good that I'm going to wipe the taste out of your mouth. One person said that to me, and she, I would say 60% of the reason why I made it to stardom, or close to so far, because she doubted me and tried to vocalized it, and it was a stranger. And I thought, no, rather you just big me up, but don't ever tell me that I'm not going to make it, because I will make it just to look at you and go, weren't you that? I'm that, right? And it's horrible, right? Like, I'll give you another example. And this is back to the woman's question about bankruptcy. This person might be watching. The day that I was made bankrupt, I was going to my son's mother's house, and she lived in Clapton. So there used to be a kebab shop. It's probably still there on Clapton High Road, right by the Green. And I was going there to get a kebab, and then I was coming to the house. So as I came out the kebab shop, these two guys pulled out from the Green. There's an in-between where the buses go, right? Pulled out and turned right to go up towards the roundabout, going towards Stamford Hill. Yeah. They pulled out and they bibbed, and the one that's not driving leaned out and goes, Richard. So the way he said Richard, it sounded like he knew me. So I looked and he went, you're Brock, right? And he was like, ha, 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 laughing. And as I say, and I remember he drove and I looked at him and I just pointed at him, right? Now he probably thought, who's he pointing at, blah, blah. But what he did was that the point was, you're going to see me again. And I'm going to wipe the taste out of your mouth. I'm the wrong person to say it to, right? Do you know what I mean? Because that's how my mind's wired, right? And I'm back now. Once again, that guy in the car is the reason. Because it left to my own device, I probably wanted to kind of just have more time and be sheepish and blah, blah, blah. But him being horrible to me and just being nasty made me go, not today. Today's the only day you're going to be able to say that. You're going to have to watch me on TV with your girlfriend. Your girlfriend's going to go, well, he's doing well. And you're going to sit there and go, I'm going to make sure of that. That's how my brain works, right? So that's how I dealt with bankruptcy. Like, it was the people that were horrible to me in that time. Yeah. They were like petrol. People that, you know, people show me love and I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed. But you see, when somebody writes a negative comment on my page, it's petrol. They don't know, because as I say, they're hoping it does the opposite. They hope it chops me down, but it doesn't. It makes me go, you're right. I should go for more, right? Do you know what I mean? And I'm going for more. So every time you see me, it hurts. That's sounds horrible. Right?
No,
that's who I am.
No, that's your mechanism, and I think it's one that is definitely, I share a similar thing. I kind of feel it turn that energy into something positive. Someone asked me, Spoon, do you get angry because you're always so peaceful and calm? Like, I do, but I don't allow my responses to deplete me and destroy me. I use it to fuel me, right?
Fuel. Telling you, man, that's what I'd advise anybody out there. And I know it's a hard thing. It's easier for us because if you think about it, we do something that requires discipline, which is martial arts. So most people that partake in sports and things like that, and even, you know, and other things as well, because if you play chess and blah, 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 right, requires you to have patience and to not be impulsive, right? Because that temporary emotion can leave you with a lifetime problem. So, you know, that if we, like when you're sparring and Steve always says, the guy catches you with a clean shot in the mouth, 9 times out of 10, you want to hit him straight back in the mouth, right? Do you know what I mean? He goes, but you're supposed to resist that because that's what he wants you to do, right? Do you know what I mean? So you just got to go and keep going, right? Do you know what I mean?
Trying to draw you in.
Try and draw you in, right? Do you know what I mean? You're on your back and somebody's there. So you might be like this and you might just open up a little bit, right? Hoping that he gives his hand down so you can, do you know what I mean? Right? So you might be like this and you go like that. If he smiles like that, I'm not stupid, I'm not going for that. You know what I mean? Because I know what you're trying to maybe give you a hand. So I'm going to hit you in your ribs and make it, do you know what I mean? But it's that kind of thing, right? Do you know what I mean? So I say that to say that because we have that discipline through martial arts, we know we use that as the fuel. If somebody taps you out, you just go, okay, cool. Not again though, right? Do you know what I mean? It's your fuel, right? And I think that's what I would advise people is that when people don't believe in you, that's fine, because not everybody's supposed to believe in you, right? Do you know what I mean? Use that though, even if it's a spiteful thing, not spiteful as in horrible, but spiteful as in, you're going to see one day. Just use it like that. Okay, you don't believe in me. Okay.
Love that.
You'll see one day. You don't even need to say it to them. Just to yourself. Just give them a look. They were like, well, you look. Not a thing. You'll see though. Like, think of it this way. What do we do if somebody breaks up with us? We go to the gym. We make sure we look crisp. I don't care if you're male or female. You make sure that the next time your ex-partner sees you, they look at you going, okay. So you can go, yeah, well, a couple of press ups. That's what you do, right? Nobody wants to see their ex and they're looking mash up. Nobody does, right? Do you know what I mean? You want to look crisp so that when they see you, they start second guesses like, did I make the right choice? Right? So now it's on your terms. I think you did, but anyway, I'm not interested anymore. That's what we do it for, right? But really what it did was it made you go, God, I was resting on my laurels. No, okay, no, you're right. Got to fix up. Right, do you know what I mean? And that's that's the same mentality. Let it motivate you.
Yeah, love that. And then we got Melly Mel in the place. Sahar's a therapist, and she's been helping people in the group with ideas for letting go of stress and relaxation. And she says, if you need a treatment to find her, what are you ladies in the group doing? Can't you behave yourself? I bring a gentleman into the thing, and you lot are just coming out. What are you doing?
I don't even know. I can't see what's being said, but I can. From your response, I can kind of tell.
Aisha, how you doing? Someone says that you're aging really well. Like you must
Thank
be
you.
using. That's what the shea butter was about.
Yeah, I knew it
Using
was
shea
that. I
butter.
knew it was that when you said it. I knew it was that. No, I'm 48 in May. By the grace of God, you can see I've got grey hairs somewhere, but you know, I've still got full head of hair. I'm very lucky. I'm very, very lucky. Like
So
I'm very, very lucky.
Bro, seriously, you're doing something right, bro. Because you look really well, man. And
I don't drink though. I don't drink or smoke.
Ah,
Right? I never have. I've never been drunk in my life.
wow. Okay.
Ever.
And that's a tough thing to do when we're in the entertainment industry, right?
Yeah,
Going to the parties and everything's there.
In abundance, you know, right? One thing about entertainment, boy, like you go to an industry party, if you're addicted to something, you're in trouble, right? Because it will be there, right? Do you know what I mean? It will be there. But no, I was very lucky. I was never, you know what? This is why I thank my parents, you know. Old school parents, they weren't PC, right? So I remember, like you'd hear the word cocaine back in the 80s. It was like an 80s drug. So I remember asking my uncle, like, I hear this drug called cocaine. Not that I wanted to take it, just been hearing about it. And my uncle went, you take cocaine and you die. That was it.
It's really that simple.
I was like, so when I got a bit older and I saw certain people taking cocaine, I said, do you know you can die from that? And they're going, well, no. And I'm like, but as far as I'm concerned, that's enough. You can die from that. Right, do you know what I mean? And then you hear cases of people that OD'd or whatever, and I go, see, they died. And it's like, yeah, they OD'd. I'm like, I don't care, right? You can't OD on Pepsi. You can't OD on Ribena, right? Do you know what I mean? You can OD on cocaine and die.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'd rather not. So, and then in terms of being drunk, my cousin one time, we went to a party in Fortney by the Clock Tower. And I remember we were walking down Green Lane, walking back home, because I used to live in Stratton. And he was drunk and he was dropping on the floor, lying in the middle of the street, right? Cars had to drive around. This is in Green Lane. Anybody know Green Lane? It's the main road, you know, right? Like he's lying in the middle of the street. I'm saying, sorry, beep, beep. I'm picking him up and he tried to climb into a man's window. I never forget it, right? There's like, you could hear us walking down the street, blah, blah, blah. And then some guy opened his window and he's trying to climb in. So the guy naturally is defending his house going, if you don't get him out of this window, right, you know what I mean? Right, and I'm going, sorry, he's going to look for a weapon to do something. So I'm the cousin that's trying to get him up, because he's my cousin, I can't leave him. And I just remember and I remember the next day he said, cuz, I'm so sorry. But I couldn't talk to him, I was so vexed, right? Because he is just saying, God, what did I do? But me, I remember it, I mean, I'm 47 now, and I still remember it vividly. I was 16, right? Do you know what I mean? Right? That's how much it really messed with me. I was like, what did you do? What did you not do? And I just thought, yeah, guess what? I'm not having nobody tell me, Rich boy, you should have seen you yesterday. Boy, I don't want to hear that. Right? Yeah. No, you will not tell me what I did. I'm aware of what I did. So that's another reason why I guess I look youthful, because I don't drink or smoke.
Awesome, man. Like, where is it? Alison, so Nubia Allison saying, big up the old school parenting.
Yeah, straight.
And so her saying, oh my gosh, did he say it's 48? Yep.
48 in May 15th.
Black don't crack.
Unless you take it. Right. But May 15th, I'm 48, yeah.
No, you know what, bro? I wanted to ask you, I know we've been talking a lot about, you know, life and so on and getting deep. Well, I want to talk about some of the projects you're working on. I know maybe things have been, for the entertainment industry, put on hold, but is there anything we should be looking out for that's coming out soon? Because you've been doing tons, bro.
Well, I'm on Hollyoaks now, right? Yeah. I've started Hollyoaks. Well, I started on screen, 2 weeks ago now? It's coming into my third week of being on Hollyoaks. But I've been doing Hollyoaks since January, right? So I was doing Panto, and then I came straight from Bournemouth to Liverpool to shoot Hollyoaks. So I'm here for a while doing Hollyoaks. So I'm going to be consistently on screen on Hollyoaks. I've got, outside of that, there shouldn't really need to be an outside of that, but outside of that, I've got a movie called Deus, like a sci-fi horror coming out at some point this year. I don't know when now, but that's coming out. But essentially, right now, and because my thing is, until it comes, it doesn't come. So right now, I'll just say, you know, I'm on Hollyoaks. I play a character called Felix, and, you know, I'm very lucky to have gone from one show and made a good mark on Eastenders, and now it seems like I'm making a good mark on Hollyoaks. So I'm very God's blessed me. I'm very lucky.
Fantastic, man. And we know it's down to your hard work and consistency, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
And did I hear something about Kevin Hart? Were you in talks about doing something?
Yeah, yeah. Kevin Hart, he had an idea where he wanted to do myself, Slim Kojo, to do like a best of British sort of thing where he comes out on stage and he brings us out. I mean, Kevin, I'm not saying it won't happen, but Kevin's my boy. Me and Kevin have been friends for just under 20 years, right? So Kevin means well. He means well. And if Kevin could, he would. But Kevin has got so many projects. Even when he was saying it, he was like, because we were talking, me and him were backstage at the last thing that's on Netflix, you know, that he did over here. I was there and we was all backstage and we were all busting joking. It was like me and him was like catch up because he sees Kojo more than he does me. He comes over and him and Kojo see each other a lot. But I'm quite terrible. I'm quite a loner. So he might be in town, but I won't message him. Even though I got his number, but I won't message him and say, hey, I just kind of I'll see you if I see you. Right? I'm that kind of person, right?
We came on Stush for, bro. We came on Stush.
No, that's just me. I think I'm just very proud, right? I'm just like that. Like, as I say, I've known Kevin for years, but I don't want Kevin to think that I'm contacting him because he's Kevin Hart now.
Of course,
you know
not. I hear that.
My thing is, you do a show, I'll see you there, we can catch up kind of thing, right? And he respects that of me because he knows what I'm like, right? So I saw him and, you know, you see it in the video on my Instagram and we're hugging and he's like, I was asking about you. I was hoping you'd be here. And I said, come on, man, you know, no, man, once you're in town, I'll always come show my face and show love because we're boys. Do you know what I mean? We've been friends for years, right? And he's like, I'm so glad to see you. So then me and him and another comedian were talking. And the other comedian and I were talking about, listen, man, we should do a thing where, you know, we do a highlight the British comedians. So then he goes, Richard, I've been talking about this for a while. So Kevin comes over and goes, what are you guys talking about? So then he goes, so he winked at me and he goes, look, we've been thinking about blah, blah. So Kevin goes, that's a great idea. So then the guy goes, I've been telling you to do this for time. What do you mean it's a great idea? I've been saying this, right? Blah, blah. So Kevin like, he's brushing up, going, yeah, look, okay, we should do this, blah, blah. But Kevin, he's just come off stage and he's really happy, blah, blah. So right now he's in the yes mood, right? like anything's a green light right now. I just killed it on stage, right? So as I say, so then he called over his manager and he was like, okay, Richard, you and him swap numbers. He goes, listen, this is what we're gonna do, blah, blah. So I was like, yeah, this is amazing. But I knew you've got so many projects doing that you probably won't be able to, I'm not saying you're not gonna do it, but you won't be able to do it for now, right? Because you've got so many things doing. Right, but hey, if it happens, then it's even better. So you know, so then he announced it, and he put himself under pressure because he goes, "Look, I'm saying it now on the record, blah blah." So
accountability, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. The press jumped on it, and I remember just standing there, and I'm thinking, Kevin, man, don't do that. And it's really weird. One of his boys, right, one of the comedians went, "Yo, Kev, don't do it, man," because they knew, like you. And it's not, as I say. It's not that Kevin didn't want to do it. He wants to, but Kevin has got, think about being the top comedian in the world. The amount of projects that you've got, he's got his own heartbeat company. He's got so many things that when he goes back home, now our project is amongst the heap that he's already working on. And obviously he's got to prioritize. It's like, okay, I've got these 5 projects. I've got this movie coming. Yeah, I'll get to that. And he's got to get to that when he gets to it. So I understand that because I'm busy and I'm just on Hollyoaks. Right? Do you know what I mean? So if I'm busy, he's quadruple busy. So as I say, me and Slim were kind of the same. We were just like, because Slim, he used to go to Slim's house.
Right.
Right. Do you know what I mean? So as I say, me and Kevin, Slim, all of us, we know him, but we just know that. Yeah, if it happened, but here's the thing, I'm not ruling it out. I'm sure that it will be in God's timing, right? Do you know what I mean? That it'll be the right time for me, him, Slim, Kojo, for all of us to get together and do it. And it'll probably be a couple of years in the making. But I would say, don't look for it now. Like,
hey, man, hey, look, we put these things out into the universe and they happen, you know, it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, bro, I appreciate that you know, you're very busy. You've got a lot going on. We're going to bring this bring this in.
Mhm.
And I just want to say thank you again for your time and sharing your insights. You know, I want to
That's
say
cool,
thank
man.
you to Heather, to Aisha, and Sahar, and everyone in the group who's been just sending out enough love to you.
Send my love, because I can't see their names. So just please, anybody that's watching this, that's giving us the time, thank you, because you could be anywhere else. So, you know, in your house. You're not
Could
supposed
be
to
in the
be
living
outside.
room or the kitchen.
Hey, I hear in London people are just outside. Is that true? Like people just walking around as normal?
I don't know. I've just been, you know, I've been enjoying the fact that I can just chill and not have to see people, because I like not seeing people sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Like you're saying, you know what I mean? But I get this thing when I do venture out to the Turkish man to buy some oranges, that people are just out doing their thing, bro.
Because
And
you got
I'm
to remember,
like,
I'm in Liverpool, right?
okay,
So Liverpool people kind of pay attention to the rules. So no one's really out. Like the
but
streets are.
people are out here, bro. And
No, London.
but at the same time, I hear people are getting fined. People getting put in vans and taken places and fined and all sorts.
As they
So
should, though. No, do you know what? No, the thing, and here's the thing. I'm a Londoner, right? And I'm trying to explain to people up here how Londoners are. Unless it's right here in front of me, I've got stuff to do, so I'm going out. We Londoners do not, because we're faced with madness every day, right? So at first we get scared. We go, okay, yeah, okay, we'll hear about this thing. Then a month goes by and we go, all right, all right. And then after a while, Londoners especially get restless because we're in the city. Remember, we're city people, you know, right? Do you know what I mean? Our life is just busy regardless, because we're in amongst it. Like when you're up these areas, things are slower. So it's not harder for them to slow down. It's already slow. But London, we move at 100 miles an hour daily, right? Like I can go around Liverpool twice in the time it takes me to get from southwest to southeast London.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like even in South London, you know, to get from southwest, let's go from, I live by Wimbledon. To get from Wimbledon to Brockley, right, would take me time, and they're both in south. I could circle Liverpool in that time. So I can go shopping here and go, oh, actually, I need to get over there and do all of that in an hour. For me to go from my house to Westfields in Bush, you have to choose the right time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this Eastenders, to go from my house to L Street, right? If I left 1 minute after 7, that's taking me 2 hours to get to work, right? Do you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like we're so, that Londoners find it very hard to keep still because that's not we're not programmed that way.
Yeah.
We need to stop though, people. You need to stay in your house.
We'll stay in your house. Lock it down. Lock it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But someone was just saying we move 100 miles an hour. And yeah, London's a massive place. So there are pockets where people are just chilled and it's super quiet. Aisha's saying, thank you, Richard. You have been my long-time crush. Love this interview. Just lots of blessings going your way, man. I'm gonna stop this now, and we'll probably carry on talking for a little bit. But thank you again, everyone in the group. Appreciate it. Please drop questions in the thread, and I'll pass them on. And you know, it's all good, and we'll catch you real soon.
Follow me on Instagram as well, and you know, like
yes, please tell us your website details, your Instagram details.
My Instagram is just I think I haven't to check it. It is just Richard Blackwood on Instagram.
So find Mr. Blackwood on Instagram
with the picture of me, it looking like James Bond coming out the sea.
James Bond coming out the sea there.
I did that picture on purpose. I saw the James Bond and I went, I'm putting out in the universe. So I took that picture in Guadeloupe when I did Death in Paradise. Right. And, you know, that's my James Bond.
Nice one.